anxiety and who writes all these social rules? I want to know, you guys. I want to know, because here's the thing I've been realizing in the past 2 years is that what's up, winning team? Shout out to you guys. You guys are my favorite people. I actually am so grateful to have you guys. I just want to say that because I don't know where I was going to talk. Like, other than me obviously talking to the Lord, like, who else am I going to talk to? Because, I don't know. I feel like everything I say sounds crazy to people, but you guys, you get it. Anyway. Let's talk about societal cues, societal rules, if you will. This one little braid here, where is it? It's actually a twist that keeps popping out. You just need to just sit the hell down. Also, guys, are we loving the bob? I'm loving the bob moment, okay? I'm loving the bob moment. Anyway, so who writes all these societal rules? Can somebody explain? Because I've been thinking a lot about this, because one thing I realized, right, is obviously based on my own life experiences, okay, there's a number of reasons why I don't understand a lot of the societal cues, and I'm going to go through them because I feel it needs to be said. And also I want to talk about it because I feel like there's like a societal anxiety where, because there's these bunch of rules that we don't know where they came from, although I have a theory I'll come to later in the video. People don't just be themselves because there's things that you are and are not allowed to do, society. So like in this country, for example, this might surprise you, those of you from around the world, but this is the truth. Actually, probably doesn't surprise you if you've actually seen anything to do with the United Kingdom, is, do you know what's funny? I've actually more recently taken a lot more pride in the fact that I have a British accent, because I never realised that it was something that people thought. I never really thought about my accent that much until recently, for reasons I don't really want to get into, but anyway, it's not important. Societal constructs, societal rules that I don't understand. There's a few reasons. Number one, I grew up, when I was a kid, when my parents were parenting for the first stage of my life, I was not allowed to do a lot of things. So I wasn't allowed to watch things like Harry Potter, The Simpsons, Pokemon, like a lot of things I wasn't allowed because my family went to the Assemblies of God church, and like all of that was demonic. You know what I mean? I think even caffeine was still considered demonic at those days. Yeah, so I wasn't allowed to be involved in that. So I don't know, I haven't seen a lot of movies that everybody's seen. I haven't seen a lot of shows that everybody's seen. Like, I haven't seen a lot. You'd be surprised. People be like, oh yeah, but of course you've seen such and such and such and such. I'm like, I haven't seen that. You've seen I haven't seen that. General. Let me just have the fact that I've always been a very independent driven person, and I don't really know where that comes from, but I've always just been somebody who's like very much focused on my own goals and on myself. I've never really been jealous. I've never really been somebody that overly pays attention to what somebody else is doing. I also do kind of feel part of it is the energy that I grew up in, because like, if I was to say about my parents, both of them are very they're both very intelligent, and they're both very like respected amongst the communities that they belong around. And I was kind of always grew up around the kind of thing of like, we do our own thing, like my dad always used to say to me growing up, for example, I won't say what my surname is, but let's say that my surname is Apple. He'd be like, you're an apple, you're a leader. Like, he'd always say stuff like that. Like, you're an apple, you're a leader. Like, you lead. You're not a follower. Like, that's what he used to say. I'm saying in the early days, they really did well. So, things like that. So then I'm like, so I've always had in my head that thinking as well of just like, and also he always referred to himself as a king. So I find it completely interesting that both me and my brothers would all refer to ourselves as kings and queens. There was never any prince or princesses in the building. I never was like relating to the Disney princess concept of like princess, because I'm like, I'm a queen in this thing. I was calling myself queen since I was like 8 years old, like even older, you guys. So like, you got to understand that I grew up in a very different kind of energy, and also I grew up around winning and winners, because like both of my parents, I would say, are very much winners, like in life, like in whatever types of ways, like and whatever, like my dad is a highly athletic person, very highly athletic, and also very charismatic and very intelligent. So is my mum, very intelligent. Athleticism, I'm not too sure as much, but I will say this: my mum has the best body I've seen in the world. I will say that. So I grew up around that energy, especially in the early stages in my formative years, because obviously I gave my life to Jesus at 7, and that's when things started to go downhill. But I formed, my personality fully formed. So to me, I was never a follower. I was always somebody who believed that I was capable of a lot. I was always kind of told, like, that's why I feel like it's so weird how all of this backfired on me. But anyway, so there's that element. The element that I wasn't seeing what everybody else was doing in the world. Number one, I wasn't allowed to be a part of any of it. So none of that's normal to me. Like, you just watching something and like something to do with sorcery and witchcraft and think that's just normal. That wasn't normal to me because I wasn't allowed to watch it because it was considered demonic, right? Then I'm growing up in an energy of like winners, essentially, and people who are like, you know, leading and leaders. And then that all intertwined into myself, and then me, you know, then having grown up, like, say, in this country with that as my background, obviously I'm always going to be the one that stands out because I mean, when I first moved to this country, you guys, I was a kid. I was coming here I used to talk really, really fast, more fast than I talk now, in a strong, heavy American accent. So you can only imagine what my experiences were like in my early years of school as like a super young kid. So basically what I'm trying to say, I'm saying all of this to say that I never technically fit in. Like, I never technically fit in anyway. And then that just got worse over time because obviously now I'm used to not fitting in and I'm used to just moving, and we're like, 1 minute we're this country, that 1 minute we're this country, that country, 1 minute we're this continent, that continent, the other continent. We're all over the show, right? And again, the things we're doing are kind of abnormal for a lot of people. You know, I can say that I've been to school in like essentially 3 different countries, essentially, you know what I mean, which is insane. And I do remember parts of what it was like when I was like, I mean, I only went to preschool in America, but I do remember what preschool was like. I do remember some of what preschool was like. I've been to school in Zimbabwe as well. I have to say it was the better education system than the education system here. And I've been to school, obviously, here. And then, of course, I'm a Black woman who grew up in Essex, which is the name of the area that I grew up in. It's called Essex. They talk very differently here. We don't really talk like the Londoners. We do things really differently, babe, because that's what we do in Essex. I love Essex people, though. Essex people are... I love Essex people, so there's nothing against people from Essex, but I do have grown up in Essex. So that's insane. All of these things come together to suggest that I don't know what these normal societal contracts are, and I don't know where they come from, and I don't know how they exist. And I feel like a lot of them are based on the fact that people have been in one kind of area or one kind of experience predominantly for the entirety of their existence. And so they are so familiar with like what they do that like what everybody else is saying sounds insane. So for example, if I go to one of my local pubs right now, and I've been to them a couple of times, right? I'll go in there and you'll find a bunch of regulars who come all the time throughout the week. Their family has been coming for years. They go for years. This is what they grew up in. They walked to the school that's for 15 minutes walk from here, or 5 minutes. Actually, in fact, the closest school to here is like literally like not even, is it even 5 minutes away? And then there's another school there that's like another like maybe 7 minutes away. I don't think it's even 7 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? There's like everything is very close together as well in England, I must mention. I think something that's it is something that's different to the United States. Everything is very close to each other, and they did it on purpose. It's like they had this whole thing that they did where they tried to make it so that everywhere you like, basically everywhere everybody lives, there's the basic things that you need very local to you. So like you live somewhere, then there'll be like at least like convenience stores that sell like a good number of ingredients and different things. And then maybe like a local takeaway, and then maybe like something else kind of local. Maybe you have like a laundromat. Maybe you'll have like we have like a barber's right now. We have like this holistic store thingy going on. And then there's a fish and chip shop. And then there's like this other shop where they sell like chicken and whatever they sell. So that the idea is everywhere everybody is, the basics you need are in walking distance. So also GP, general practitioners, so you like your doctors, not the main hospital, but like your general practitioner, like the one you would go to, whatever, is supposed to be in every area. Okay, walking distance for everyone, which I actually think is a really good thing, because obviously it means that it makes it easier for people to be able to access a lot of this stuff. So all in all, but at the same time, I was born in Florida, in Orange Park Hospital. So there's that. So I remember we had our apartment and we used to go downstairs and I used to swim in the swimming pool in the United States of America and get a corn dog after preschool, and it's a lot. And so I just don't get the social cues, basically. When people are like having these random social cues, like in this country, there's so many topics you can't speak about that I didn't really realize throughout the years. Now I realize, now looking back at a lot of my experiences, I'm like, oh, I didn't get it. That like for here, every topic that rocks the boat in the smallest of senses is considered controversial. And that's why everybody talks about the weather. The reason why people talk about the weather is not because they don't have anything else to talk about, but because we don't talk about other things other than the weather, because then it becomes like, oh, we're making people uncomfortable because we talked about just an opinion about anything. It could be something so small. I could say something as small as like, I don't know. Yeah, I'll give you guys a perfect example of something that I talk about in this country that people find uncomfortable. That I don't think the weather's that bad. Like, and that's my personal opinion. I'm not saying that it's good to everybody. I'm saying that to me personally, as somebody who prefers colder weather anyway, to me, the weather isn't that bad. Like right now, it's not that bad. Like it's not that, like I'm not freezing. My window is open. I'm wearing a t-shirt and shorts. Like I'm actually sweating. Like I don't think the weather's that bad. But that's like, oh, if we don't agree that the weather is horrible over here, that's not very British, because that's the one thing that we all agree is that the weather's really bad. And then it's other things like, so when like Brexit happened, I always use Brexit as an example because when political events happen in the UK, this is what's funny that I never really realized again. I'll just say my opinion because for me having a difference in opinion to you doesn't change how I feel about you or doesn't change my opinion of you, because you have your own opinion for your own reasons. If anything, I'm more interested now to know if you have a different opinion. I'd actually rather talk to somebody who disagrees with me than I would talk to somebody who agrees with me. Which again, countercultural, because now in culture around the world, we go, especially in the West, oh, I'm going to go and find the group of people that agree with me and that's where I'm going to sit. But for me, it's the opposite. Like, I'd rather like, who's going to tell me why they disagree with me, and like, who's going to like let me have not even have a debate, because it's not about having a debate, more like having just a discussion. So like certain things will happen, like, so for example, Brexit. And what happens with Brexit? I only know of one person I can tell you of who I know who admitted to voting in favour of Brexit. But no one will tell you that they voted for Brexit, but somehow Brexit took place anyway, right? Because that's the UK for you. Just like how, again, I prefer other cultures where people are more directly racist than here, because here I don't know who's racist. I don't know who's racist. I don't know who's whatever. I don't know who's whatever, because they were not going to say it. They're going to keep it to themselves. Then they'll go and do whatever they need to do in some way where it's unseen. So again, social cues, didn't realize. So me just mentioning my random things that I think, I'm thinking, oh, we just live in a society where like I can just say what I think, because you know what I'm saying? Like if you disagree, you can say you disagree. Well, what's the big kerfuffle? To me, there's no kerfuffle. It's just your opinion. But apparently in society, you can't have an opinion because it offends people. It's like when people call me opinionated. I don't understand how I'm considered opinionated, because everybody has an opinion. That's why I think calling somebody opinionated is one of the stupidest things in the world, because we all have an opinion. If I ask you right now, what do you think are the ingredients? Why do I always go for the burger example? And I'm not even a big burger girly like that, to be honest. If I ask you guys what you think belongs on a burger, everybody's going to have different opinions. If I go and say some bold statement, like, I believe that peanut butter belongs on a burger. Woo! I'm not saying that I do. I've never really thought about it, even though I always use this as an example. But I'm using it as an example because it's something that I feel like people are familiar with. And I think somewhat everybody can kind of think about what they would have on theirs. Everyone will have their opinion. Some people will say there has to be American cheese. Some people over here might say there has to be mature cheddar cheese. You know what I mean? Some people will say, oh, never tomatoes. Other people, yeah, always tomatoes. Some people, yep, there has to be burger sauce. Others, no, not burger sauce, ketchup. Like, some people be like, has to be a smashed patty. or 2 smash patties. Somebody else is going to be like, it's going to be thick. Like, some people are going to think brioche bun. Some people are going to be like, what do you mean brioche bun? Sesame seed bun. Some people are going to be like, why don't you have a seeded brioche bun? Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody has their own opinion. But what I realized in society is that there's like this like thing that's like this central, so-called normal concept of what's normal. And if you're outside of that, you're considered abnormal or even neurodivergent, which is why we have all of these lists of like 100,000 different personality types. I'm like, different things just suit different people for different reasons. Like, if you are somebody who is, you know, full of energy and whatever, and struggles to do one thing at a time, whatever, that might just be you got a lot of energy in your body, like, and you've got a lot of things to do, and you might be just a professional athlete. It might not be that deep. It might not be, oh, we need to diagnose you and put you in this category. But we do, right? In the same way that people try to diagnose me. And the funny thing about that is, I've told you guys before that I've been to psychiatric evaluations voluntarily, and I never get diagnosed with anything. In fact, the last time I had one, they actually offered me a job. But people try to diagnose me. But the funny thing is, everybody will have a different diagnosis, and that's kind of my point. Is in, like, some people say, oh, you're definitely kind of autistic. Oh, you kind of ADHD. You might be bipolar. You might be this. It's like, maybe I'm just a human. Maybe I'm just a human that doesn't subscribe to the societal constructs of whatever. Like, I hear stupid small things that people say. Like, so for example, I'll give you guys one of the things that really bugs me at the moment. This whole messaging thing. Like, I don't know if we realize this, but social media and like instant messaging is very new. So when, like, in the times of like my parents' age and before, the older folks can speak for it. People were not able to just message somebody and they instantly receive that message. Like, if I was going to send a message to, say, one of you guys who's international, because most of my audience is international, which again, I don't even know how that's worked, because how do you guys even understand what I'm talking about with my accent? But whatever. We're here and now, and the here and now. You guys are getting all these messages. I can send a message straight to wherever in the world right now. I can send a message straight to South America, straight to Australia, straight to Russia, straight to Korea right now, and you'll receive it immediately. That's insane, because now when people are like, oh, if you don't reply within a day, or if you don't reply within an hour or 4 hours, like, and again, who wrote the rules of those things? Because who decided that I have to respond in 4 hours? I got things to do. Like, even this whole Christmas period, I've been thinking to myself, I've been feeling bad because I've literally not even clicked on WhatsApp. Actually, I clicked on it once because it had something to do with work. And again, I didn't even want to be doing this work thing, but then this mum was begging me, and this is again the societal contract. This mum was begging me, like literally begging, oh, please, can you help me out with this? Like, please, and whatever. And I was like, oh, for flip's sake. But then I'm trying to help you now. I'm trying to tell you that me as the person who is the expert, quote unquote, teacher here, is telling you what you need to do. But you're not listening to me because you have in your mind what you're supposed to be doing. But then the thing you have in your mind about what you're supposed to be doing, exactly why everybody struggles with the exact subjects that I teach, because you guys are following some other contract that I don't even know where it came from. Because again, I've always been a logical person. Like, since I was in school, you're telling me, oh, if you want to impress an examiner, I'm like, who's this examiner? And why do I care what this examiner thinks about what I want to say? Why do I care about, I don't know them. I don't even know them. So why do I care what that person has to say? Also, who are these people in the textbook? Like, I was looking at the textbooks. I remember at school, I'd always be looking at the textbooks that we'd be given or be told we needed to have. I'm looking at it, it's like written by, then I would look into who these people were. But so who the hell is this person to be telling me what to do? Because what are their credentials? What are the credentials of the examiner? You're just saying this is an arbitrary examiner that I've never heard of. But then we have this societal thing that we've all decided that, oh, we're just going to run off with whatever the examiner tells us. We're just going to run. Even the national curriculum, I'm like, and the curriculums, I'm like, who wrote these curriculums? And also, why is it that we have all these different curriculums and a school can just choose to do this curriculum versus that curriculum? And then, but then we value all of those qualifications the same way. Or we do or we don't. But then even whether we do or we don't, there's also reasonings why we do and we don't. And there's always these T's and C's. There's always like 100 different options. And it's like, it doesn't even make sense. It's not even logical. anymore. And then I'm here like so then when people are doing this, like I'm hearing these moms like, oh, and like I really truly believe my job is redundant. Like I actually like it's actually completely redundant. Like there's no point me doing it, because everybody's brains are so well programmed into this societal whatever agreement that everybody made that I wasn't a part of in all of my experiences, that like when I'm telling you what's actually going to get, like when I'm telling you that I know how to succeed at this because it's literally what I do, you're so programmed into the societal way of thinking that you cannot hear what I am saying, and you consistently continue to do what I told you isn't going to be effective. I was actually thinking that today because I had to do some lessons today, like because again, like I said, parents are panicking because in the United Kingdom in January, the kids have mock exams. If you're doing your GCSEs, which you do at age 16 here, you have your mock exams in January, right? It's normal. I think it's unfair because it means kids never really get a break. And I feel like mock exams should actually be before the break, if anything. If we're going to do mocks, they should do them before the break. So then you can have the break to actually have a break and actually like, process what you might do differently come the new year, as opposed to spending your whole break studying and then doing it in the new year. And then all you do then is study again. And then there's no break. Like it doesn't make any sense to me again, but this is the societal thing that who decided mocks had to be after Christmas and not before? I don't get it. Who decided like that if somebody messages you that you should message them back within 4 hours? I remember listening to my mum and my auntie talking once upon a time, and they were talking about how like, it used to take them 2 weeks for like a letter to go back and forth. I right now can lose friends. I can lose actual relationships for the simple fact that I haven't responded within a day. But I have work to do. I work long hours as a teacher because I usually work like, let's see, what are my usual hours? Like my average hours of teaching are like at the moment are like 9 until 9:30 until when? Maybe 7:30. And then I still have to find the time to do the lesson planning, to do the preparation, to do the marking. So when I now have people who are wondering why they haven't heard from me in a week, it's because as soon as I finished work, I went to sleep. And as soon as after I went to sleep, I woke up and I went straight back to work. That's why. So sorry that I wasn't sitting there telling you about how my week is going, because my week was work. Is that surprising? Is that crazy? No, I don't think so, personally. But apparently that is societally, that's insane, apparently. Like, these are the things. Like, and so it's little things like that. It's little things like, let me think of another one. Hold on. All of these, like, societal traditions. You can only eat this food at this time in this way because it's this season. And yada, yada, yada. Listen, I'm not against tradition. I'm against tradition that isn't rooted in something that has some kind of reason. So like, for example, in a lot of the culture of like the original Hebrew Israelites, the reason why they ate certain things at the certain different feasts of the Lord is because different things would remind them of specific things. So for example, like spring cleaning, the reason why spring cleaning became a thing isn't just because spring cleaning is just nothing. It's because the whole idea was you remove all the leaven out of your house, because like leaven represents like sin and how it can develop into something that's, kind of puffs you up. So the reason why that even there's flatbread eaten around that time is because it's the removal of sin. Even things like eating lamb and stuff representing the Jesus and whatever, there was reasons why they were doing it. So I can at least work with that because I'm like, okay, I see why we're doing that. But then you feeling hell-bent about, oh, so-and-so brought this potato salad or this whatever, why would you do just for nothing? Just because it's a random tradition that you don't even know nothing about, that you haven't even looked into the origins of, like, it's stupid to me. Like, it's actually all stupid. It's all very stupid. A lot of this stuff is I find really stupid. Like, I'll tell you another thing I find stupid, that we've decided that it's normalized now in society. Oh, we're going to just work majority of the time. And then we're going to have these short little bursts of doing it something outside of work. And we're going to all do everything we can. Like, when I was doing my final Christmas shoppings, right, for my Christmas gifts this year, I went to buy the last thing I needed for my last gift for the last person I had to get a gift for, because I had to go and get this thing in person. Anyway, not important. So when I'm going to get this thing for my gift, and honestly, I'll be really honest, I would rather just gift people on a normal basis, as in when I see something that they enjoy, rather than making this big kerfuffle at Christmas, but whatever. And I just stood there in the store for a moment, looking around and thinking to myself, all of these people are here, rushing around for like a couple of days off work that they're going to get, like, from the government, which again, the government is another thing. I don't know why we just tolerate them. I don't know why we're not sticking up and standing up for things. I don't know what the older generations were doing, just like bending over for all these laws that came in from all these people. So I'm here in the store and I'm just looking around, and it actually broke my heart a little bit, because I was like, how did we get to a point where we just allow for us to live a life where we have this short amount of time off work? The rest of the time we're out here building somebody else's vision, somebody else's dream. Hold on a minute. Somebody else's vision, somebody else's dream, somebody else's something, and we just go along with it. We just pay our taxes because that's what we do. We just this something, we just be bending over for these people, and it's just the norm. And if you go against it, like, I remember, I'll never forget when COVID-19 hit, initially. I'll never forget how, first of all, everybody just went along with something because the government said it. Because who's the government anyway? And who are they to... And also, why was anybody ever listening to Bill Gates? Why was anybody ever listening to... What was that guy's name? Oh, the guy from America. I can't remember his name. Even Boris Johnson. Why was anybody listening to them just casually? Like, they're not healthcare professionals, but you're just going with what they say. Why is it that if you went against the system, you were in the wrong? But if you went with the system, you were in the right? Why is it that they said all of this stuff? Like, because this is the funny thing to me, especially as somebody who's actually taken flights since then. How many flights have I taken? And I have not taken no vaccine, by the way. Fun fact. Let's see. So this was COVID-19. So this is 2021. How many flights have I taken since then? Because I've actually flown to a few places since then. So I've been to Italy a couple of times. I've been to Scotland also a couple of times. One of the times it wasn't when I was talking on YouTube, but I flew in the air. I went to... Is that the only places I went to? Italy, Scotland, and America. Are those the only places I've flown to in the last couple of years? I think so. I need to travel. I might book some flights today. No, I'm joking. But yeah, she says, as if they're not sending me all the... You want a deal to go to so-and-so. But you guys get the gist. It was like, if you guys want to ever travel again and eat anywhere again, and I'm just like casually traveling, like living my life. But the societal contract was that we all had to do what these people are telling us to have to do. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's so stupid. Everybody fell for that, went for that. And we're telling you guys, oh, this thing just popped up, and like tomorrow we now have a vaccine. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes so much sense, doesn't it? Logically speaking. Like, the world has, like, we've really been taught to think so illogically. So I'm saying about all these things, like, I don't get any of it. I don't get, like, not being able to think for yourself. I don't get, like, not being able to, like, stand on your own business, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. And that's what I feel like has happened with a lot of this stuff. Like, it's like, where was I thinking? And then I'm in the wrong. I'm the crazy one for thinking outside of it. And you're the smart one for going along with the agenda of whoever you don't know, because you can't even pinpoint. At least, see, for me, I can pinpoint where my agenda comes from that I'm signing up to. God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. And I trust them. I know God personally. I know Jesus personally. I know Holy Spirit personally. I'm happy to follow their agenda because I can identify who they are. I can identify their character. I can stand behind their character. I'm cool with that. What I don't know is these other people that we're just following in society. And then the whole world just like, oh yeah, we're all just gonna bend over for whoever this is. I don't even know who this is that we're bending over for at this point, because actually I do know that's such a lie. Because ultimately it always goes back to the same person. But then I'm in the wrong for not following the societal construct. I'm in the wrong because I don't do what everybody else is doing. That's crazy. Like, that's what I'm saying. This world is crazy. Like, I used to think that, like, sorry, I'm making so much noise in the background. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm so dehydrated. I used to think that I was the crazy one. And part of me still thinks that some of the time. But then the truth is that I'm not crazy. I'm really not. It's the world that is, like I said, you are willing to live a life. Like, I've been saying this to the Lord, like, God, are people really willing to live a life where their whole life consists of working? I remember when I was 13, I remember being at school one day, and I remember thinking, so we live to go to school, to go to work, to die. So we live so that's what I'm saying about me standing in the supermarket. I'm thinking, everybody is here rushing around, buying food, buying gifts, buying whatever. I was there with it. I was there buying my final gift that I needed to buy. I bought all the other gifts I'd already organized everything for, and I wanted to wrap them up. I'm here buying my gift as well, my final gift, right? And we're all here in this vicinity panicking at the last minute because we don't have time, and no one has time, because we spend majority of our time building the businesses of these people that don't even have your best interests at heart. Like, and I know that already, and I've known that, but it just hit me in a different way this year. And I feel like this year my eyes were just opened to how ridiculous this existence is. Like, you're really happy to keep working just for a couple of days throughout the year and a couple of weeks of enjoyment. The rest of the time you'll show up to a job you hate. The rest of the time, maybe you don't hate your job. I hope you don't. I hope you love what you do, because if you do, then it's not a job and it's good. It just happens to also pay the bills, which is amazing. That's the ideal thing. That's winning. And if you're there, you're a winner. You're one. Okay? But for the people that don't, for this small period of time, and because they've kept you so busy, you can have enough money or enough whatever to handle that small period of time. Because that's the other thing I was thinking, this societal thing of, oh, in January we all hate our lives. Oh, because we've been working. Oh, because we spent so much money in the last 4 weeks. I don't get it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't feel like I fit in here. Like, I don't fit in. I don't fit in this world. I don't think I'm, like, I don't get it. Like, I really don't. Like, that's not where I'm at. Like, where I'm at is, like, if I'm going to be here for, like, let's say 80 years, I hope 100. I like to live my actual real life living goal is not an age, but I would like to live long enough to go to the wedding of one of my grandchildren. That's my actual goal. I know that means I need to start having kids soon. Listen. The Lord. Yeah, the Lord. Anyway, and yeah, that's my, like, age goal. I just want to go to one, like, I feel like if I can make it to one of my grandchildren's weddings, for me that is, like, my goal of living, because it would just be cool to be at my grandchild's wedding one day when I'm an old woman. I can't believe that's gonna be me one day. But other than that, you know, I'm gonna be here for however I'm gonna be here. Like, it's not that deep. Like, and also, if I'm gonna be here, like, I literally believe in the concept of go hard or go home. Like, go hard or go home. Like, if I'm gonna be here once and I've only got this one small 80, 90, 70, 80, 90, 100 years on planet Earth of all of eternity, to me, it's like, go hard or go home. You know what I mean? Like, why am I gonna just, like, have a mundane life? Why am I just going to give in to, oh, this is just what we do? For me, that's not good enough. Like, it's not good enough. Like, it's not good enough. And not because of, like, I need stuff. It's not like I need to be rich or powerful or famous, because you guys know, fame and power, I don't want. Riches, I do, but that's simply for the simple reason of, I hate talking about money, and I hate people bringing up money, and I hate money. I hate it. I hate it so much that I want it, that I don't have to talk about it. So the second someone tries to bring up, you can just be like, pay for it. Because like, listen, I don't want to talk. I hate the discussion. I hate money. I'm like the least slaved to money person you could probably meet in the world. I hate money. I hate it. I hate that it wreaks such a strong stench and strong power in this world. I hate money, you guys. I hate it. The only reason I want to have money is because it's something that works in this life. And therefore, I'm like, listen, listen, if the Lord makes me rich, I'll be rich. I'll just pay for things because I honestly couldn't care. I don't care about what I'm getting back. I don't care if you betray me after the fact. I really couldn't care less. I don't care. I don't care about money. I hate money. That's another construct. People are so fixated on money and like making money and money. And I can't stand it. So anyway, I think I'll leave that there. Will I? Have I said enough? Probably said enough. These societal constructs, whatever, I can't work with them. Because it's not me. I don't care. Like, I don't physically care at all. Because why can't I live a life of freedom? This is why when the Bible says, who the sun sets free is free indeed. And I believe it. Because in the world, you're enslaved to the societal constructs. This is what we do to get a qualification. This is what we do to get a job. This is what we do to do this. This is how this type of friendship works. This is how this type of relationship works. Is all these rules. There's no freedom here. Like, freedom actually doesn't exist here. Like, and I get why the Bible says, who the sun sets free is free indeed. Like, you're not bound by the agreements of society. You're not bound by what society is telling you is the normal thing. Because like I said, who is this examiner to tell me what I need to know? Who are you? And they're always the old crusty dusties who are doing some kind of weird shady behaviors anyways in the government. People will be upset. Oh, we didn't hear from you for the 2 days. Brother, like 20 years ago, I could have sent you a message now. You wouldn't have got it for 2 to 3 weeks. But now I'm the problem because I'm not just a slave to things, and I'm actually trying to be an active thinker and participator in my actual life. Like, and then like I'm actually trying to be here I'm trying to be here. I'm trying to like, I don't want to just, because I feel, especially as I'm getting a little bit older now, because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to be 2025 in a couple of days, which means I'll be 29 the year after that, which is insane. I'm thinking, I don't want to just be another person that's just coasting along, following the rules and not even questioning what's happening, because I don't want to waste my young years. So, if life's a game where it's played to win, I'm just saying I don't get it. I don't get it, and I don't get them. God bless you. God loves you. And I'll see you in my next one.